Hello, Mike Flannery from Red Hat here, and today I'm going to show you how to create 25 virtual machines in Red Hat Hyperconverged Infrastructure for Virtualization, also known as RHIV. On the left side of my screen, you can see the RHIV GUI, also called RevM or the Red Hat Virtualization Manager. On the right side of my screen is a terminal where we will review and then execute the Ansible playbook to create the VMs. Let's get started. So over here on the right-hand side, you can see my playbook. First thing we do in the playbook is we're going to execute off of localhost. That's because we're going to be going across HTTP to be able to do all of our work. So from localhost, we get our login information for logging into the RHIV system. That's this task right here. Overt auth is the module that we're calling, and we pass in a couple of variables to it. One is the URL. We specify that it's insecure. I just do that to keep things simple for me. And then we specify the username and password, admin@internal for the username, and my very secure password, Red Hat 1. Once we have our overt auth, we use that in the create VMs task. You can see it right here to be able to access our Rev system. So in here, once I get my authentication to that system, I'm specifying that I want to use the default cluster. I'm going to use the rel 7.5 guest template that I created. I'm going to name my VM the name that I have down here. So I have my list of my 25 VMs. And so this name, so with items, goes back up here into item one at a time like a for loop. I want to leave it in a running state, and I want that instance size to be tiny because I've got a fairly small lab and I don't want to take it all up memory and CPU wise with all these different virtual machines. I'm going to put one NIC on it. I'm going to call that NIC NIC1, and I'm going to use the overt management profile for that NIC. And then I'm going to use Cloud Init, which is pretty neat. Inside of Cloud Init, I'm going to specify things like the host name, the username, the root password. I'm going to name my NIC that I created or I specified up above. I'm going to call that ETH0. I'm going to make sure that that NIC is available at boot time, and I'm going to use the DHCP protocol to obtain my IP address and default gateway and all that fun stuff. Once I've got the virtual machine created, I'm going to execute a couple of extra things in a custom script. Number one, I'm going to ensure that my host name is set with the fully qualified domain name. I'm just setting it again to make sure that it's done. And then I'm going to remove the Cloud Init packages so that they're not executed on a second boot. So we do that once for every single VM that you see in the with items here. And then at the very end, once we've created all 25 of our virtual machines, we're going to remove that Rev authentication token so it can't be used by somebody else. Takes about 30 seconds per virtual machine, so I'm going to fire up a clock here. I'm going to speed up the video so that you don't have to watch it for the next 13 minutes. And then we'll come back and have everything going. So let's get started here. Ansible playbook, make 25 VMs. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to pull up my clock, start. And there we have it, 25 virtual machines instantiated in approximately 13 minutes. There they are right there. 25 is getting his IP address from my DHCP server. There we go. And that is how you instantiate a whole bunch of virtual machines from a single command line command using Ansible. Thanks for your time.